Hello and welcome to Off the Beaten Path. I'm still here on the Isles of Scilly and I've taken a moment out to make a bunch of videos for you, and one of those videos is which apps are best for cooking in the outdoors. So if you're anything like me, you go out into the outdoors and you kind of like to turn your phone off and leave that side of your world behind. I certainly do, because nature without a screen is often better. I'm saying that, I know I'm talking to a camera right now, but 95% of my time when I'm out is out looking, taking photos because it's a hobby of mine, and making videos because it's a hobby of mine, and it's a great setting to make these, to have these hobbies. But sometimes people like using apps. I have apps on my phone. My phone's still with me when I'm out because it would be remiss not to, especially when there's signal and there are useful downloadable maps I can use. It's always good to have a backup is what I'm saying. But while I've got my phone, I can use that for apps that help me cook in the outdoors. And these are in no particular order, but I'm going to show you and get into it. I've got them ready to go here and I'll show you up on the screen roughly what they look like. So a great one is called Hiker or Hiker. There are thousands and thousands of trails in there. It's got a lot of information about these trails, and one of the most important parts of this app is the ability for it to show you water sources. You can zoom in on the whole trail and then choose in the amenities section of the tab water sources, so you can kind of work out where the next water sources are going to be, and the community within the app can add photos to what this water source looks like. It might be a tiny trickle, it might be a tap. It's just really handy for planning out your water sources. Obviously, if you're using a map, a decent proper map should show you where water sources are. Then you can boil your water, sanitize your water, treat your water however you will. I've just made a video about that. If I've edited it yet, you can click on the link above after watching this video, of course. And the other great thing about this app is that you can search for amenities. So it might be that you need to stock up on food, so you can search for shops. And on some of the trails, they've got their Latin long, they've got their grid references, but they've also got a phone number, contact number, so you can call ahead, see if they've got the things you need. A really useful app, one I've not had for too long, but I found it to be incredibly useful. So that's Hiker app. In this instance, for water sources. So another one is a weather app. I mean, this is a good practice anyway to look at the weather before you go and as you go. And I use what's called Pocket Grib. This is a hangover from my sailing days. So it doesn't take long to learn what this means. There's a handy key to know, but it tells me the wind speed, direction. It gives me a week in advance. Also tells me precipitation and pressure, so I can read the patterns, because it might be on your typical app that you get with your phone. It might say, oh, on Friday it's going to be sunny, but you can also see the weather patterns leading up to Friday, for example. So you can see if it's looking erratic or if it's looking stable. There are plenty of apps out there, and I'd recommend using more than one source when you're getting your weather. I like Pocket Grib because it can give me a good overview. I can look at it in map view. You can download the map of where you're going to be, and keep it on your phone, and you don't need reception, and you can keep updating it, and then you can get a good look through the list of if it's behaving, if it's going the way that the weather forecast or the forecasters are saying it's going to go. And it also picks up anomalies as well. Anomalies, differences. It's a really great app. You can look at it in a grid view as well, so you can see the pressure drop and the wind speed. It also shows you gusts in there and precipitation. Really good app, and it's obviously, if you've got a big roast meal planned at the top of a hill, but the weather says it's going to be horrendous, then maybe you want to think about getting yourself a very quick, dirty, cheap noodles meal in a cave and let the weather pass for the glorious days when you can have your full roast beef meal on the trail. But the next app I've got, and this might surprise you, I like eggs. Love them. I like fresh eggs. I'm going to do a video about eggs because I love them that much. I might call it Let's Talk About Eggs Baby. Awful, but you know, whatever. But this one's called Egg Timer. It does what it says on the tin, and what's great about it is you choose your style of eggs. It can be poached, boiled, and scrambled, and then it will ask you how you like your eggs cooked, if you like them kind of runny, if you like them softer, medium, or really hard. Then it gives you the step-by-step on what you need to do to cook the perfect egg, relating to how you like your eggs, the egg size, and that sort of thing. It's even got a handy timer when they're done. So for cooking eggs on the trail, it's called Egg Timer, and you can't go wrong with it. So the next app is, I use it at home a lot as well for inspiration. It's called Epicurious. What I love about Epicurious is that it has all sorts of different meals. You can go pretty much Michelin star, or you can go dirty one-pot wonders, and you can search for these things. And what's great about it is you can check this out at home. You can think, I want to cook curry in the outdoors, a really fancy curry. So you look at one-pot curries, choose the one you like the look of, and it tells you how to make it, tells you the method, the ingredients. You can buy the ingredients through the app as well, which is useful. But, you know, for some things, for example, we'll be swapping out. So it might be we want more dehydrated version of what's in there, but you get a really good idea of the ingredients you need, and you can tweak it to your own will and whim, but it's really good for recipe ideas. And I love taking my ideas for my recipes from stuff I like to eat at home or in restaurants. Not that I go to restaurants all the time, but stuff I like to eat, proper food, and then I adapt it for the trail, and then hopefully I make a video of it and I share it on here for you to try. So the next app, and probably the final app, not probably, it is the final app, is Meter. And that hooks into a meat thermometer. Now this, I think, is more for people who are going to go out commercially and cook for people, or cooking large groups, and you need to know that your meat is cooked to perfection. Meat thermometers have existed for years, and they're not new, and you can buy really cheap ones from most home hardware stores, even Amazon, and they'll do the job. You just need to know what you're aiming for. Some of them even have little grids to say, like, you want to, you know, cook meat like this. The great thing about the Meter app is you can put in the size of meat, the type of meat, and it will tell you what to aim for. They're very expensive. I don't own one of these myself, but I've had the opportunity to use them, and I'm actually really impressed with it. You can really, it's just a thermometer, but the app itself gives you a lot of information and detail, and takes the stress, especially when you're cooking for a lot of people and you're in the outdoors. The fact that if you undercooked or miscooked something, then it's on you. You're going to make someone very ill. But having a thermometer for your food anyway is good practice. But this Meter, M-E-A-T-E-R, very good, thermometer is really, really good and comprehensive. So like I say, I don't own this, but I can attest to it being an incredible thermometer because I have used it a lot in the past. Anyway, that's my little video on some apps you may find it useful to help you cook in the outdoors. You might also think, I've been doing this for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, 90, 100, a million years, and I've never needed an app. And that's fine, but we live in a world of apps and phones, and if you're inclined to use them, if that's how you learn better, if that's how you want to do things, then that's some I use, and you're welcome. Anyway, I'll see you in another episode of Off the Beaten Path. Cheers and gone. I'm not doing that. Anyway, I will see you in another episode of Off the Beaten Path. Cheers and gone.